thought it was fantastic. And it wasn't just easy ever after. It doesn't magically get healed because they're in love. They actually struggle throughout their lives. So her whole life, all she was doing was preparing to be this man's wife. So I guess that was the place of women. That is still the place of women. I guess at the time, Black progress was more important than female progress. Trying to explore, seeing other people, possibly getting married again, or even just getting her garden watered, Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Timmy. If this is your first time here, thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you like it and decide to stay by hitting the subscribe button. And if this is not your first time, welcome back. So as you can tell from the title, today I'm going to be talking about Queen Charlotte, a Bridgeton Story. I thought it was amazing. That's the first thing I'm going to say. I thought it was fantastic. This is a positive space where I'm going to be talking about how much I loved this show. If you're not familiar with this show, it is a spin-off of the Bridgeton series, which is something that started on Netflix I think in 2020. Yes, 2020, the first season of Bridgerton came out and it was a smash hit. Everyone loved it. I loved it. They came out with season 2. It wasn't as good as season 1 to me. Queen Charlotte is actually a spin-off of the series. It's actually not season 3, so this is just like a separate thing. Apparently season 3 is about Penelope and Colin, so that's a separate thing. When I saw this pop up, I was like, I'm not too sure how this is going to go. But it was good. It was really, really good. I spent the whole time watching like this. I was concentrating so much and I was so invested in the whole thing from the beginning to the end. It was 6 episodes and all 6 were amazing. So it was written and directed by Shonda Rhimes, and who doesn't love Shonda Rhimes? Like, she does romance so well. Like, I've been a fan of Shonda Rhimes for many years. I watched Grey's Anatomy way longer than many people did. Actually, I'm not sure where that ended or if it has ended, but I kind of lost track at some point. Anything else she put out, I was on it. So Bridgerton, I loved. This I loved even more. She's all about empowering Black people, Black women specifically, and then women in general. So I mean, I'm all for that. Some of the things that really stood out to me or that I really enjoyed were the hair, the costume, everything was amazing, and specifically the music. This is something she's always done from season 1 of Bridgerton, where she would take modern music and then make it like into a classical piece, and it's just so amazing to watch. I really enjoyed that even more in this season. So basically this is about Queen Charlotte being summoned. This was an arranged marriage, so King George needed a wife and she was brought from Germany to marry him. She wasn't having it, but her brother convinced her, this is bigger than you, it's something you need to do. So they bring her over and she's like, okay, fine, no problem, I'll do it. But what does he look like? What's he like? Is he nice? Is he not nice? Why do I not know what he looks like? Why is nobody telling me anything about this guy? I need to know more about him. So she tries to escape on her wedding day. They meet and she gets along with him and she's like, oh, okay, actually maybe this isn't too bad. I can marry this guy. I can make it work. So she goes ahead with the marriage, and right after they get married, he changes. In the beginning he's charming and she falls for him, and then all of a sudden he's cold, puts her in one house, goes to another house, and obviously there's something wrong. So she tries to figure out what the problem is. She's not just timid and like, okay, no problem, you don't want me to come, I'll just stay here and live out the rest of my days alone. She's like, no, actually, I want to find out why my husband is not sleeping in my house, and what exactly is the problem. I need to know. So she's very bold and daring. She goes for what she wants. She asks questions, she challenges him, and she eventually finds out that he's sick. She decides to stay and make it work. What I enjoyed the most about this season is the fact that they explored love in illness, and it wasn't just easy ever after. It wasn't just like, oh, the prince marries the princess, they fall in love, they live happily ever after. It wasn't that, and I really enjoyed that. Like this is real life. Like, everything is not always smooth sailing, everything doesn't always go as you want. And then even beyond that, I like the fact that they were jumping from present day to the past, and we kind of know what already happens. Like, it doesn't magically get healed because they're in love. They actually struggle throughout their lives, because when you're watching them, you kind of hope that her love will heal him or whatever, but that doesn't happen, and that's real life. Like, sometimes that's just how it goes. So that was really nice to watch, that it was actually realistic. Apart from Queen Charlotte, other performances that were amazing as usual. Lady Danbury, the old Lady Danbury as usual, was fantastic, but then also young Lady Danbury was really nice to see where she came from. Can you imagine? This woman was promised to her husband when she was 3, so her whole life all she was doing was preparing to be this man's wife. They would teach her his favorite foods have to be her favorite foods, his favorite books have to be her favorite books. What kind of, like, this is crazy. I didn't enjoy though the way they exaggerated her husband. I think his blackness was a bit exaggerated. He kind of looked like a fool, which I guess was what they were going for. She was doing all the work, he was taking the credit. But the funny thing is that she actually didn't mind. Like, she kind of felt some sort of sympathy for him. Even though she was doing everything, she was kind of happy that she could provide him with access to the things that he's always wanted all his life. So it kind of was touching on how Black progress is progress for all, I guess. So she was just happy in the fact that they were moving up in the turn, because she did everything. She negotiated all of their success and everything, and he took all the credit for it, but she didn't mind. So I guess that was the place of women. That is still the place of women, to be honest. Yeah, I guess at the time Black progress was more important than female progress. Princess Augusta is George's mom, and this is another strong female character. She's not Black, but she was behind the experiment, and low-key, I guess, put Black people on, so to speak, because she was, behind the experiment and, gave the titles and all of that. So I guess in some sense, without her, they wouldn't have, been able to progress the way they did. She, summoned Queen Charlotte, and even though it didn't turn out the way she wanted, and, Charlotte actually challenged her, she basically made the first Black queen. And also you just see maternal love, where all she wants is for the king to be happy, even though the things that she was doing, you could tell that it was from a good place. It was from a place of love, where she just wanted him to be honest, she felt like him being in power would make him happy, which I guess at that time, like, what else? You're the king, like, what else are you going to do? So I think after all is said and done, she was just a mother who wanted the best for her son. Another strong female character was Violet. Young Violet was so cute. She was so cute. So that was interesting to see, and to finally find out that Lady Danbury's lover was actually Violet's father. And then I kind of saw that child in her, even in, like, when she found out, she still was acting like a little girl when she found out that Lady Danbury was involved with her father. So they didn't really, there was no closure there, so we don't know what really happened there, but that was very interesting. I'm going to jump back to Lady Danbury. I found it very interesting, and I actually completely understand how she didn't want to get remarried or anything like that because of what she had been through. Can you imagine being betrothed to someone from when you're 3 years old? Like, all you know is being someone's wife. Like that, I can imagine you not wanting anything to do with that anymore. So yeah, back to Violet and how she lost the love of her life, and she just couldn't imagine being with someone else for, I'm sure, for a very long time. After her husband died, she just wasn't even thinking about being with anybody else. But then now, she has natural urges, as women do, as people do, so it was really interesting watching a middle-aged woman, navigate that space and, like, contemplate moving on from a great love that she's had in her life, and, trying to explore, seeing other people, or possibly getting married again or whatever, or even just getting her garden watered, Overall, I would say that Queen Charlotte was a fantastic series. I enjoyed it from start to finish. I could definitely watch it again. I give it 5 stars, and yeah, it was definitely much better than I expected. Like I said, after Bridgeton season 2, I was like, I'm not too sure. Let me just watch it just because, it's on. But then it was really, really, really good. I really enjoyed it. I hope they continue. Well, is there anything else to say there? I don't think so. One thing I will say is that the Queen Charlotte that we know in present day, and then the young Queen Charlotte, didn't seem like the same person. Obviously, they started the older one first, so she was more comical, and they had already established what that character was. So I'm sure by the time they brought in young Queen Charlotte, it was kind of difficult to, align their characters, but I feel like maybe they could have done a better job at making young Charlotte a bit more whimsical, but I guess that wasn't the vibe. So I will let that pass. It's not a big deal, but that's the only thing. I just couldn't put those two characters together. It was also very unfortunate that they had about 15 children and none of them could have successful relationships, have kids and all of that. And she ended up being really sad, in not having the life that she really wanted, having her husband be ill and having her children be so disappointing to her. But at the end of the day, I really loved that, because I'm always complaining about films, especially romantic films, being so predictable and, just like the same thing of boy meets girl, they fall in love, they live happily ever after. So I was actually happy to watch this and to see that, no, they didn't live happily ever after. He continued to be ill and their children just didn't produce an heir. I think eventually they did, but it just didn't go smoothly for her, but that's just her life, and that's life for a lot of people. All right, so that's it. That's all I have to say about Queen Charlotte. Let me know in the comments, what did you guys think of the show? 5 stars from me. Thank you so much for watching this review. If you enjoyed this, let me know in the comments. I will stand with you between the heavens and the earth, and I will tell you where you are. Do you love me? That was a scene. Let me know what your favorite scenes were. Let me know what you thought about the whole series. I would love to continue this in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. If you're not subscribed, don't forget to subscribe. Hit the like button if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.